Hello everyone. We're going to be doing an incredible test right now. We're going to have proper implementation of Sega System 32 games before and after results. So I'm going to show you how Golden Axe 2 would run if you're loading up on MAME 2003 Xtreme Amped. And again, remember, this game wasn't technically supported whatsoever for the longest time. I mean, you would generally get an error on the screen saying this game is not properly supported. It has video issues. And I'm going to show you what I mean. And by the way, winners don't use drugs. I mean, I love those games. I mean, where you have Ronald Reagan, Madonna, winners don't use drugs, all that fun stuff. Start the game here. And look, we have Stern there. That seems almost like a reference to like the pinball company, does it not? I mean, you never know what kind of Easter eggs you have in these games. But again, you're able to get like good performance and speed on MAME 2003 Xtreme Amped. But notice the issue on the screen, the glaring shadow glitch there. That is so distracting. And many a person has messaged me like, hey, Golden Axe 2 Death Adder is running all right and everything, but I'd like to not have graphical glitches. I'm like, you could do that if you run it on MAME 2010, 2014, etc. The problem is it runs too slow. I mean, you have less performance and speed with the increased accuracy. But lo and behold, Mahoney T944 took it upon himself to really just do proper integration of the Sega System 32 code. He's put dozens upon dozens of hours into this, and I give personal tremendous thanks to Arcades 2003, as well as Grant 2258, Misty Dreams, and anybody else involved with the MAME 2003 Plus team. But in any case, we're going to load up Golden Axe 2, and one of my revisions here, as far as like what I may put into the release. When I first did this, it ran kind of slow because, again, it requires more accuracy. It ran on par with like the 2010 or 2014 MAME. But again, winners don't use drugs, so I mean, here we go. We're going to have better graphics here. I mean, wait till you see this. You're not going to have the floaty looking shadows anymore. And I'm going to use like Aqualad, I guess. I mean, it's so interesting how these characters really befit other like characters from different universes. It looks like an Aqualad style character with a trident and everything. Look, no more shadow glitches. And look, I have some pretty nice performance and speed here. This took a few tries to get the way I wanted it because, again, it is not meant for lower spec, especially with the higher accuracy, but we have it, and I'll try to get this into the release as soon as possible to coincide with like the Philips CDI upgrades and all that fun stuff, and a few other things. I'm going to update like the FCE UMM core, but let's add up the ante here. We want to be able to run this even better here. So one thing I'm a big fan of is the NES Advantage and Turbo Fire. So check this out. I'm going to go into, watch very, very carefully here, input. I'm going to go down to where it says Turbo Fire. And right here, if you do classic mode, you can essentially map a button to your controller and hold the button down and have Turbo Fire. It's cool and everything, but I want to be able to take this to a more Xtreme Amped turbo proportion. So I'm going to change this to single button toggle. And I'm going to show you exactly what the single button toggle does when I actually map the buttons here. So player 1 controls. I have device index as my controller. I am primary user number 1 right now. I'm going to tap up, and right there, turbo. I just click my button, and then I can map it to my attack button. If I want to revert it, I could push start, and then take it off. But I'm going to map it again. Go down to port 2 controls. Go to device index, and make it the exact same as my first controller, because I'm going to basically essentially play 4-player mode activate on one singular controller. It's great for games like X-Men and TMNT. I even do 6-player mode activate on the X-Men 6-player counterpart version, which also works on MAME 2003 Plus. Okay, I'm going to tap up, Turbo Fire again, player 3, device index same, Turbo Fire again. And once you see this, it is just redonkulous there, like Roadhouse. Okay, so we should have all 4 players map. Start the game here. And tap the attack button. There we go. 4-player mode activate with Turbo Fire on all of them. Just tap the button down and I can attack at willy-nilly anytime I want to. Very, very cool stuff indeed. I can turn it off just by tapping the attack button there. And this one time in games where like you can get on the animals and stuff, I prefer just being on foot because I feel the animals kind of slow you down a bit. Once you get like to a room full of enemies, you just take them all out quick. And the cool thing about Turbo Fire here is you can also do like special moves where you'll like pick up an enemy with if you have like one of your characters on the right and left of the enemy, you'll pick them up and like do body slams and all kinds of fun trivial things. I used to use the dwarf when I played like the older Golden Axe games, especially with this like backwards roll attack. But again, Mahoney T944, Arcade 2003, Mystic Dreams, Grand 2258. Great job on all this stuff, and thank you so much. I'm going to try to get this implemented into the release for MAME 2003 Plus, as well as Xtreme. Now let's get to the first boss here and see how quick she goes down with Turbo Fire mode activate on 4 players. You ever have one of them games where like you have an enemy on screen and you can attack the enemy but they can't attack you? It felt like that for a moment there. Okay. And by the way, just to show you like how far I can push this game, I'm going to show you something very funny in a moment here. After I take out the first boss, of course. And I'm also going to show you one point where the scrolling effect would typically have issues. There we go, first boss. I could also do magic. I mean, 4 times the magic since I have 4-player mode activate here. You know, magic doesn't always do the best on boss battles, but it definitely clears the room of enemies. And be sure to let me know what you're watching on your streaming services. Right now, I am watching Beverly Hills XOF. I swear when they announced it a few years ago, it was supposed to be about, like, his son. But I think they changed the plot line once they got a writer on board. And the after effect is it's about his daughter and her being in danger. It also has, like, another actor in it that I like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's a great actor, and if he's in the right role, I mean. In G.I. Joe, and of course the Batman movie, he wasn't put to the test as far as like his acting skills, but in other movies where he plays like the French wireman, it's phenomenal seeing him do that. And of course the hijacking plane movie he was in. Okay, let's close content here. And I'm going to show you how far I could actually push this particular game in the System 32 subset here, because we're doing my test 3 here. It's going to run even faster than you just seen. Again, I'm going to get this as close to normalcy as I can for a release. It's going to be just incredibly fast right now. Check it out. Okay, you ready? Set, go. Look at that, even faster. So, I mean, I may do like a turbo version where you can run this fast. I mean, you just like, hey, I want to be able to run this extreme proportions here. I only have like 15 minutes to beat the game rather than 30, so I want to run the game like nearly 30% faster. Add Turbo Fire to this. Let's try it real quick. Input. We're going to do this the classic way. Turbo Fire. Classic way. Port 1. Turbo. Bam, bam, bam. Now I just hold the button down, and it does Turbo Fire whenever I hold it down. That's the way you do it. But, I mean, there are certain games where Turbo Fire always being on are kind of cool. Like, I'll give you an example of that. I mean, without sidetracking too much. But, again, we're running even faster than possible now. Look at that. It's so beautiful. You can do like kick moves, all kinds of fun stuff. Just don't want to get on the mounts because the mounts don't move as quick as my Turbo Fire does. Jump kick. I remember this game would always slow down when you get to, oh geez, now I can't shoot as fast. I want my Turbo Fire. Knock me off my thing. But I'm going to give you an example of a game where the Turbo Fire definitely comes in handy having it on. Cobra Triangle. I got this in bioability for my birthday one year, but I love the toggle turbo button on the game like this. Now I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So. Go into input, Turbo Fire. Again, it depends on your typical game. You might want to hold it down. You might want to toggle it on. Here I'm going to do toggle, then input player 1. And I'm going to program it to my A button, because the A button is fire in this. Select button is like radius where you choose your power-ups. So once I get the game going, and again, this is like finesse. It's one of the most difficult games to beat for Nintendo, without a doubt. I put it like in probably the top 20 hardest games to beat, especially the final boss. But I got this in bioability, and these were just incredibly hard games. So again, I could like choose these power-ups when I get little pods. I'm going to hold down the attack button. Look, I'm not firing right now. I just tapped it down, and it's firing by itself. So now I can just focus on controlling and get these pods. There I got turbo. Now I can shoot faster. Get some speed, got a 1-up. I love like, I meant to do it like at the end of each stage. I'll show you what I'm talking about, where you like jump a ramp and you can spin in the air. But this and RC Pro-Am, also made by Rare, are 2 of my favorite games ever made. I mean, literally. There we go, fire. It's also like Radius where you could choose the wrong power-ups and end up screwing yourself, where you might have like crossfire instead of like thing. But I'll show you like the end of the stage where you like do like little jumps and can flip over for power-ups and all that. That! But great game. Absolutely one of my best. I'm going to have to do like a top 25 type thing. This Turbo Fire works great for Contra as well. But another thing that I'm a big fan of here is, check this out. So low content. I'm going to go to my mount to drive dummy. I should have had this in my playlist, but I want to be able to show you like the System 32 folder. I'm going to attempt to do this. I'm going to load up Slipstream, and I'm going to load it with my 2003 Xtreme Amped just to show you like kind of like a before and after result here. It's a great, great game, but it is so much tremendously better if you're able to have sound. Right here, it's not going to work with sound. Okay? I forgot if I actually implemented it in here. It might not actually load at all. I may just have a black screen. Okay, so again, we established we don't have it working in my 2003 stream. I'm going to have to update my 32 video code and all that fun stuff. So we're going to do this. I'm going to go to the game I just loaded. I'm going to go to Set Chord Association and see if I have an older build which doesn't have the sound supported here. I should have one where I didn't implement it yet, right there. It should run in here, but it won't have the sound. Again, I do a lot of testing, so I have quite a few builds in my repertoire. So Slipstream, great, great game. Okay, I got it running, but look, no sound. Watch what happens when I start the game. I can start the game, but no sound. I want to have sound, so what I'm going to do is close content. And we're going to do the same thing. Set a chord association, and then go to my test build, which does have sound. Under main, look how many test builds I have for like FB Neo alone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 builds, plus my normal build and my legacy build, which legacy build would be like the main code. So this is the final one I go with the release, obviously. But you can see I go through many, many hoops here to get these games running as well as I can for you folks. So we're going to map this to my test one. Right here, test one. And we're going to have sound now, and I love it, because if you think of, like, movie trailers like Godzilla, Japan trailer, King Kong, a trailer, you'll hear them go, Kinga Konga, or Gojira, etc. I love the way they do that with finesse. The American trailers, they just say, coming soon to a theater near you, Godzilla. They don't do, like, the Gojira or the King Konga. But here we go, we got sound. And this has a real, real awesome thing, I mean, which works out to real life. If you drive behind a vehicle in real life, you could slipstream them. I mean, drive behind a semi in real life, you'll have less wind resistance. So I'll show you what I'm talking about as far as like the slipstream here. But great, great game, and just this and Virtual Racer, or Virtual Racing, are two of my favorite games to play now. Notice I can switch between low and high gear. This is going to come into play as far as the next edition is concerned. Some games for the arcade don't allow you to really see between your high and low gear, and that gets really irritating because you don't know like how fast you're truly able to go before you can switch gears. So what I want to do is catch up to one of these opponents there and drive right behind them. And watch what happens when I get behind an opponent that I drive behind. You want to stay behind. Well, I didn't stay long behind them. It sparked because the enemy's right behind me. They could slipstream on me, but what I want to do is be able to see they just slipstreamed on me. I'm going to stay behind them long enough until I kind of charge up my lack of wind resistance, and then I'll slipstream. Yeah! And then I can fly right past them as long as I don't crash. I got that higher speed now. Another one. Let's do another slipstream. Yeah! And you do that a few times, you'll be a #1. Let's do this again. Be cool if you could do this like in Sonic R and stuff. Whoa! Such an incredible game. Definitely one of the best arcade racers. And imagine if this was released for like a home port. Oh, get my first place. First place mode activate here. I'm gonna take the hit here. I don't want to try to take a slipstream off of that guy. I want to try to get it off number 3 here and just fly past the last 2 opponents. We got this. They call it slipstream. I call it rubber band physics because, you play old games like Need for Speed. You always have opponents catch up to you even if they go through walls and stuff. Oh, wow. That's awesome. It's like Ridge Racer style power slides, too. Doesn't really feel like you're fighting the curves. You could literally just, if you have a no, oh, no. Oh, no. This is not going to happen. I'm not going to showcase this game and not get first place. Bye-bye. Maintain my first place and get it. No crashing here. Oh, wow. So close. He's going to end up slipstreaming past me in the end, isn't he? First place. Okay, there we go. What else are we going to showcase? Kind of like what I was talking about here. Go into my playlist there. We're going to do an OutRun before and after. So we have right here, OutRun. This is how the game would typically run. Now I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, the low and high gear. I mean, it makes a tremendous difference. You can be playing this entire game in low gear and wonder why you're failing miserably. Look at the bottom left of the screen there. There's nothing there. I could just accelerate, and I see my kilometers per hour. And I'm like, okay, can I go faster? I'm kind of stuck at like 200. So I'm pushing buttons, and it's not really doing anything. I have to find what my high gear is. Where's my high gear? Or I think I found it. But the opponents are way, way ahead of me now. So I kind of failed. I'm going to run out of time no matter what I do. There's no way I'm making that 1 minute time. So what I'm going to do now is close content. And again, Mahoney T944, Mahoney T944 got this awesomeness in. Check this out. And if you ever play any games on MAME 2003 that don't have the high-low gear type thing, be sure to let me know in the comment, and we'll do our best to get these implemented. We're going to have this right here. And just look at the bottom left of the screen here. We have low and high gear now. How awesome is that? Now I could actually, I got my accelerator go. I'm going to accelerate. Look, that toggles between my square and triangle, toggles between low and high gear. There we go. Look, I actually know what gear I'm in. That is so badass. I love it. One of the best additions ever to go along with like the custom CD soundtrack. Now I actually have a chance of beating the stage. And if you look at like the MAME history on here, it actually has like the path you can follow. Go like left, right, left, left, and you have like the easiest distance here. And you remember a certain Jake Gyllenhaal movie that showcased OutRun in an arcade? You know what I'm talking about? Whoa! But let me know what else you're watching on your favorite streaming services. Again, I'm finishing up Beverly Hills Cop, enjoying it so far. Some good nostalgia there. Okay. So now we're going to go to another game with the same addition here. The added addition of having high-low gear right here. And he did this to like a half dozen plus games, and these are just tremendously awesome with the high-low gear. Look at that. So I can actually see what's switching between high and low gear. Start a game. Very, very cool stuff indeed. I want to make sure I'm using the right acceleration button. Some games will use like the X button. Some games may use B button. This one uses my R1 trigger, so I kind of flopped on that one. But now I could, this kind of reminds me of like that one game on TurboGrafx 16. You know what I'm thinking of? Victory Run. It does definitely remind me of Victory Run. Sounds like Freddy Krueger on the chalkboard with them sound effects. Wow. Bam. Oh, wow. But loving that high-low gear. See if we have any others that have the high. Oh, yeah. Turbo OutRun has the high-low gear, too. Added a few of these into the repertoire here. And this game is definitely needed because you have so many things to worry about. Your gear shift and your turbo and all that. Because you do have like turbo boost there. And this would have been a great reskin or a hack as a Knight Rider game. And by the way, they did add Knight Rider as a pinball table. And I'm grabbing that on my PS4, PS5. That's fun stuff there. Okay, there we go. So we got to accelerate with my B button here. We're going to switch to a higher gear here. Oh, that's such a bad start. Look, I have turbo available. I'm going to get into high gear with my triangle button. I'm going to use my turbo fire, which I think might be R1. No, turbo fire is my L1. Oh, let's not flood that. Great, great game. I believe they have this game on Sega Genesis, aka Mega Drive as well. I also love Outrunners. And I'm doing a little bit of tweaking to get the multi-System 32 games running better, because as of right now, they're not running full speed, but I will work on those next. I have System 32 games working with the Mahoney T944 edition, just phenomenally well, as you can see right here. Between my version 1 revision 2 and 3, you can run faster, like 33% faster if you so choose to. And you can see like even like what you just saw there, that special effect as I went through the little cavern there, that would be all distorted if you play on the older code. But as far as like System 32 is concerned here, we also have this game running with all the glitches fixed up, as well as Alien. So these will be the last two games I showcased for this particular video. If there's anything else you want to see, let me know. But again, thank you, Mahoney T944, for all your efforts with this. And my first introduction to Mahoney T944 was when he told me about his edition of Food Fight, which is precision controls where you can stop on a dime and shoot in the other direction without stepping in the other direction. It's so phenomenal. And you have to try Food Fight, particularly on MAME 2003 Plus Core, and you'll see it runs so phenomenally well. Here we go. Oh yeah, Jurassic Park runs so well here. We'll do Alien as our final test game. And you can run this two ways. You can run it with the analog, which I'm doing right now. If you let go, it resets right to the center. That is nice. It's just resetting the thing. It's like a joystick in the arcade where you just let go, it goes right back to the middle. That is so beautiful. If you do it with the D-pad, it'll stay on the screen where you left it off at. Okay? Well, let's get through the little thing here. I kind of wonder what would happen if I don't even try taking on the T-Rex. Could he even hurt me? I wonder if I'm just not even going to attack him and see if he could even hit me. Doesn't seem like he's going to really be able to take me out if I just ignore him, but I'm going to get away from him right here anyway. But if you remember right here when you have like the Velociraptors in this next section, if you played on 2003 Xtreme, you have some shadow glitches right here. But look, everything's running beautifully right now. No glitches whatsoever. Flawless graphics. This is so beautiful, especially when you get out of this cavern. So yes, this is one of the best games. I love playing on the mini classics now, especially with these fixed ups. The only time you see like the kind of shadow thing is when you get hit by the Velociraptors. So don't get hit by the Velociraptors. There we go. We're going to be on the outside here, and I just love this. It reminds me of like Space Harrier style hardware here. Planet Harrier, Space Harrier, etc. You know what I mean by Space Harrier, because the boss here is like right out of a Space Harrier game. Feels like they took like the old coding or engine from Space Harrier and just like upgraded it to like System 32 proportions. Kind of like they did with like the upgraded hardware for, of course, like a Thomas Wave, which was upgraded from Neo Geo hardware. Look at that. That feels like a Space Harrier boss there. Am I wrong? I remember playing this in the arcade and having to insert a few credits to get past this the first time. It was kind of tricky taking it out. Okay, let's try Alien here. Alien up here. Oh, yeah, I got one other game to showcase, too. I just saw it on my list here because we have support for Buccaneers, which is a great, great game. So Alien 3 and Buccaneers will be the final two games I showcase. Okay? And they brought back part 2 of that 90s show, getting a kick out of that. I find it funny because it's supposed to take place in 1996, and she's saying stuff like swing in the show, which was more like 1991 to 92. So you may have your 90s references right, but you have like when they were actually utilized. I mean, because remember, these were bad. People weren't saying swing in 1996. So it's kind of funny that they had the references there, but they're kind of like outdated already, so to speak. Alien 3 is running great. Alien 3 the gun. If you ever played Resident Evil Survivor on PlayStation 1, that is like a light gun game like this, but with a Resident Evil repertoire. You also have Resident Evil Survivor gun for the arcade, which you can run on the updated Naomi core. But Alien 3 is running great. Now, games I like here are like Kung Fu Master, where you have like the left-to-right combat. Buccaneers falls into that category, along with games like Fist of the North Star, a.k.a. Last Battle. I mean, if you played Last Battle for Genesis, United States, you'll see that enemies just like fly off the screen, but if you play like the Fist of the North Star Japan version, they blow up into like bloody chunks. So it's kind of funny because if you play Black Belt for Sega Master System, it's more like the Fist of the North Star for the Japan version. And of course, if you play Fist of the North Star for PS2, etc., you also have these enemies like just with the bloody mayhem. And this is interesting because this character here, you'll see a lot of games like the character on the front cover of Snake's Revenge or Metal Gear looks exactly like the guy from Terminator. This guy here looks a lot like the main actor. I forgot what his name is offhand. He looks like a lot from the main actor that was in the show Voyagers, which is an early time travel show I loved. And this actor, he was a great, great actor. He was actually supposed to become the next James Bond, but he ended up, unfortunately, passing away due to losing at Russian roulette. I'm not sure how that happened. I mean, you have to look this story up. I mean, the actor that was in the show called Voyagers from the 80s, and Voyagers used to play way, way back with shows like Life Goes On, Quantum Leap, etc. It was a great, great show I used to love way, way back. Circus of the Stars. Remember that show? You'd have like Lee Majors and William Catt from like Great American Hero and Fall Guy respectively, and they'd be doing like trapeze style acts and circus like events. Very, very interesting show. A show like along with shows like Star Search and all that. This game gets really difficult because these barrels will take you out in almost one hit. You gotta watch for them. Look at this. Like King Hippo here, or E Honda. I think the kick, he doesn't have like a long enough reach to hit me if I keep kicking him. So I think I could just take him out with kicks alone. And I love these sound effects. It reminds me of Vigilante from TurboGrafx 16 Arcade. And that game actually has Madonna, Ronald Reagan, Jackie Chan. Vigilante is like kind of a pseudo-sequel to Kung Fu Master. And you also have Kung Fu Master as a sequel with Spartan X, which was Famicom only for Nintendo. That's a great game too. I'll go down. The game gets much, much more difficult, particularly in the later stages. But when I'm talking about Spartan X here, I should have this in my playlist here because I know I loaded this as a test today, right here, for Nintendo. The original Kung Fu has like them stages we go from lower to higher. It's kind of like Meal on Wheels, that old Jackie Chan movie. But look at this. This is an outdoor environment. Final video here. But this is a gem you gotta definitely play here. Spartan X2 for Famicom. Look at that. It is so fun. The moment I found out about this game years ago, I had to play it. I'm like, I didn't realize they had a Kung Fu Master sequel.